Let's be honest, guys, my world right now is looking a little boring.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And soon, I want to start building super cool projects all around my world, like the ones that you see all over YouTube. But to do that, I'm obviously going to need a lot of resources, which I most definitely am lacking right now.
Embarrassing.
And so I'm going to be making 15 of the most essential farms that will pretty much get me an unlimited number of resources to build whatever I like in my world. And so first up, we have the villager breeder. So first things first, let's go find a village. I believe there should be one in this direction if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there it is. So guys, oh, what's this? Potion of, why is there just a potion of water breathing on the floor? So I'm just gonna have to borrow 2 of you guys, and I promise I will bring you back. All right, and now all I need to do is just transfer them back home. Oh, this is gonna be painful, isn't it? How you doing back there, pal? Glad to hear it. Alright, we finally have reached our destination, and I'm going to be building every farm on this little island, by the way, since it's just across the river from my house, so I'm pretty excited to see how it looks in the end. But before we jump ahead of ourselves, I still need to get one more villager, so... Alright, there we go. John meet Terry, Terry meet John. I don't know what it is, but something's telling me they don't want to breed. Now, the reason I'm even building a villager breeder to begin with is because a lot of the farms that I'm going to be building later on in the video actually require villagers as a key component in making the farms function. And on top of that, as we all know, villagers are also quite OP because of their trading mechanics, so that'll be something we can exploit. Alright, final few blocks here, and the farm is now complete. Now I just need to throw the villagers a ton of carrots and they'll start to breed. All right, guys, here you go. Don't eat them all at once.
A few inches later.
Oh, I probably should not be looking. How rude of me. And now when the baby villager is born, he falls down this tube where he's pushed by this water stream. And then when he finally grows up into an adult, the stream will push him up into the water pool here. And then he'll be ready to be collected by a minecart. And there we go. That's how the villager breeder works. Up next, we have an automatic crop farm. Funnily enough, this is one of 3 farms that require villagers, so I'm glad I got the villager breed out of the way first. But we're also going to need a ton of materials, so let's get those. All right, I'm all set. Now I just need to find a place to build this thing. Honestly, I think right next to this villager breeder would look quite cool. Plus, it'd be really convenient for me since I can easily transport villagers. So without further ado, let's build this thing. Alright, there we go. The crop farm's been built. Now I just need to put a villager in each of these cubicles and one in the center here, and then the farm will be fully operational. And would you look at that? Whilst I was building the crop farm, the villager breeder produced 3 villagers for us. Don't you just love when things come together like that? Alright, there's 1. That's 2. And there goes the last one. And now if I give these guys some crops, they should start farming pretty soon, and then the chest is going to start filling up. And then I'll have all of the carrots and potatoes that I'll ever wish for. That sounds even less exciting out loud than it did in my head. Next, we're going to be building an iron farm. Iron is, of course, one of the most essential ingredients in the entire game, as it's used in tons of different crafting recipes, 2 of which are hoppers and pistons, which I'm going to need a ton of later in the video for other farms. But this farm does require a ton of materials like obsidian, which takes pretty long to get. So... Alright, I've got all of the obsidian. Now I just need to get a few more blocks and then we can start building the farm. Alrighty, all of the supplies have been acquired. Now I just need to build it. And I know I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be building most of my farms on the island across from my house, but for this one, I want it to be constantly running, even when I'm not near it. And so one way I can do that is by building it in the spawn chunks. And would you look at that, my starter house. I haven't seen this thing since episode 1. Anyways, I do believe that I am in the spawn chunks now. So without further ado, let's build the farm. Alright, the farm's pretty much built now, or at least the overworld part of it is, since I still need to go to the nether and build another thing there. But before I do that, I do need to fill each of these pods with 3 villagers, which is not going to be very fun. And before we go kidnap these villagers, let's quickly check on the crop farm. Oh yeah, now the production has commenced. And now I can take these potatoes and carrots, trade with these villagers, and get some free early game emeralds. Oh boy, do I love a Ponzi scheme. Alright, we got our first volunteer here, and now we just need to get him over into the boat. Come on, mate, follow the composter. Come on, boy. Bro's not even moving, man. What is wrong with him? He just froze. All right, come on. I'm sick of having to push you. Just get in the boat, please. Come on, one final push. There we go. And now I just need to do that for the rest of these guys.
Eventually.
Boom, there we go. They're all in boats. And now I just need to sail over to the island, put them all in their pods, and then we should be done with the villagers. All right, here we are, my friend. Say hello to your new home. Come on, mate. Follow the composter. There you go. Just keep pathfinding. Come on now. Chop, chop. Come on, mate. Move. Oh, my day. Where are you wandering off to now? All right, this doesn't seem to be working very well, does it? I think that the best way to go about this is by using rails, shoving him in a boat, and then finally pushing this minecart to boost him, and there we go. So if you guys don't have any powered rails and just have normal rails, that's a cool little mechanic you can use there to boost villagers up. Right, now I just need to break this without hitting him. There we go. And now let's carefully push him into this hole. There we go. And now I just need to do that 11 more times. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. With the villagers now safe and sound in their pods, all that was left to do to finish the overworld side of this farm was to get a pillager into the center pod. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I built a center pod. And unfortunately for me, the closest pillager outpost is one from the last episode, which is about 2,000 blocks away. So I flew there using my elytra and some fireworks. Alrighty, there's the pillager outpost, if you can even call it that anymore. So first I need to find myself a pillager. Alright, there's one, so we can use him. Now to make my life a bit easier, I'm gonna encase this pillager in some blocks. Ouch. Alright, all done. And now I'm gonna AFK here for 15 minutes until his crossbow eventually breaks. So... Yes, it did it! It broke. Bloody hell, that took way longer than I thought it would. There we go. Everyone meet Filbert, and Filbert meet everyone.
I can't believe you've done this.
So since Filbert's crossbow is now broken, that means he won't attack me at all. We're like practically best friends right now. I mean, look at him. He's literally just vibing with me. All right, and now for the painful process. To travel 2,000 blocks by boat. I really can't wait for this farm to be done. It turns out that a huge percent of you that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you've been enjoying the content so far and want to see more, please be sure to press that big beautiful button. And whilst you're down there, please be sure to like the video too. It would honestly mean a lot. All right, Filbert, this is us. We have finally arrived. Now let's get you into your pod and finish this goddamn farm because I've been working on it for like 3 bloody hours. So like before, let's place down the rails. Boom, there we go. All right, he's in a minecart. Let's give him a little push now. And there he goes, right to his pod. Lovely. Come on, mate, get in there, please. Thank you, good sir. And now the farm is officially completed. And on that note, I'm going to do a quick 10-minute AFK test just to see how much iron I can get. All right, 10 minutes have passed. Let's head over to the nether and see how much iron we got. All right, moment of truth. Oh, yeah, now that's what I like to see. In just 10 minutes, I got this much iron. This farm is insane. Next, we're building a stone farm. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but I like using smooth stone when building my farms. It's a nice, clean-looking block, okay? Don't judge me. So instead of me having to go mining in a random cave, why not just build something much more compact and 1,000 times more efficient? And funnily enough, I'm actually going to build it right here, which is actually where I've been coming to collect stone for the previous farms. I honestly think that this farm might be the smallest and easiest to build in the entire video. So without further ado, let's build it. Boom, there we go, simple as that. Now to use it, all I have to do is activate both of these pistons, wedge myself between here, and now simply, all I have to do is mine these blocks in front of me. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm not mining the stone quick enough, but we can easily fix that. So I went and AFK'd at the iron farm for a few hours, got myself a ton of iron, and then built myself a fully powered beacon on the land next to my mine. All right, the beacon has now been built, and if you look at the top right of my screen, you can now see that I have haste too. And now I should pretty much be able to insta-mine the stone blocks. Yeah, there we go, now we're talking. That alone right there has increased the rates by an insane amount. But I did say this is a stone farm, and at the moment, I'm only getting cobblestone, so I only got one thing left to do. Boom, an efficiency 4 and silk touch pickaxe. And last but not least, let's add efficiency 5 and of course mending. All right, now let's do a quick AFK test and see how much stone we can mine. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. Let's see how much stone we got. Oh yeah, now we're talking. That is a lot of stone. And now all I need is a quick way to smelt all of this stone into smooth stone. I wonder how I'll be able to do that. Next up, we're going to be building a super smelter. So first things first, I need to clear out this area real quick. There we go, nice and easy. And now we just got to collect all of the materials to build it, which actually shouldn't be too hard since I have everything except for slime blocks and a sticky piston, which I'm actually going to have to borrow from the villager breeder for now since I have no slime balls to craft one. Don't mind me, guys, just here to borrow this block. Yoink, mine now. And now all that I need to do is get 2 slime blocks, which means I'm going to have to find a swamp. Oh boy, I hope this doesn't take forever. Oh my god, finally! I've been looking everywhere for like 45 minutes and this one is huge.
That's what she said.
All right, let's kill some slimes, get ourselves some slime balls, and then finally get to building this thing. All right, let's see, we have 54 slime balls, which is plenty. So let's go head home and finally build this thing. All right, let's place down the observer and the final 2 slime blocks and we're done. Yay. So how this thing works is that this top part here is actually an infinite carpet generator. So using some weird glitch / bug in the game, these carpets just duplicate over and over and over and then they filter down into the chest. And if you're wondering why do I have a carpet generator on top of my super smelter? Well, I can use carpet as fuel. And for the super smelter itself, I just need to put blocks in this chest and then a minecart hopper will pick them up and then put them in the furnace to be smelted. And that's how I'm gonna have as many smooth stone blocks as my heart desires. Next up, we're building an Enderman XP farm. And it's a complete and utter coincidence that this farm requires a ton of carpet and I just happen to have an infinite source of it. Yep, I totally didn't plan it this way in my Google document. So I went to collect the rest of the blocks that were needed, spotted a wild spider creeper. Hello pal, you're right up there? Made my way all the way to the end and began building the farm. Alrighty, we're all done now, and that was quite a straightforward build compared to the other farms. And it's even more straightforward on how it works. So whenever I need XP to repair my tools and armor, I just come here, whack the enderman a couple of times, and get a ton of sweet experience. I don't think I've ever called XP experience before. That felt really strange to say out loud. Next up, we're going to be building a general mob farm. You guys probably haven't noticed too much because of the editing, but I have run out of fireworks so many times during this video when traveling around the world. So I'm in desperate need of some gunpowder, and this farm's going to be the answer to that. This farm is quite large, so first we're going to need a ton of smooth stone slabs, a ton of buckets of water to wash down the mobs with, a bunch of redstone repeaters to make a redstone clock, some observers and dispensers to release the water, and finally a bunch of scaffolding to make an AFK platform. Alright, we've got all of the materials now, so let's head off and build this thing. And I think the best place to do that is on the surface of an ocean and away from any land. Alright, here looks quite decent. I think it's about 100 blocks away from each piece of land, which is plenty. So without further ado, let's build this thing, shall we? Okay, just placing these final few blocks down here now, and the farm is complete. Now I'm gonna AFK here for 10 minutes and see how much gunpowder we can get. Hopefully it is a lot. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's see what we got. Okay, moment of truth. Wait, what? Why is it? Have I done something wrong? Why have I only got like 5 gunpowder drops? What is this? I must have done something wrong, but you know what? For now, this is enough. So I got my gunpowder, and there's only one ingredient left to make fireworks, and that is paper. So why don't we just... Boom, there we go. An automatic sugarcane and bamboo farm. So pretty much how it works is once the bamboo or sugarcane grow to be 3 blocks tall, the observer sends a signal to the piston breaks the sugarcane and bamboo, it then falls and goes through the mud block, ready to be picked up and filtered through to the chests by the hoppers. And I actually built this one just behind the crop farm, and I think this area is looking quite nice. And at first I was going to strictly make it a sugarcane farm, but I thought since I've been using a lot of scaffold, it would be good to have some extra bamboo, because bamboo is an extremely rare resource in my world and I have no other place to get it. Now we're at a point in the video where a lot of the farms that I'm going to be building from here on out are going to require a lot of redstone blocks to function, and one of those blocks that's used quite a lot on these farms are sticky pistons. And unfortunately for me, that slime killing massacre that I went on earlier won't be enough to sustain me in the future. So up next we're going to be building a slime farm. Slimes of course drop slime balls when killed, which are only good for crafting sticky pistons, but they can also be used to craft slime blocks, which apparently can be used to make an infinite carpet generator or even a moving house. You're a genius, Mumbo Jumbo. And on top of all of that, it can also be used to craft magma cream or even leads, which both have their own uses. Alright, I've been AFK for about 10 minutes, so let's go see how many slime balls we got. Okay, almost 3 stacks. That is really good. And that's actually perfect because the next farm requires quite a lot of sticky pistons, and it honestly might be the most pointless farm I'm going to be making so far in this video, just because I'm actually not going to be needing it right now, and it's more of an investment for the future builds. But next up, we're going to be making a wool farm. So as always, let's get the materials, and we can start with getting all of the 16 colored dyes. So let's start with white dye since I have bone meal on me. All right, let's make gray and black, light gray, and boom, there's brown. Here's orange and red and yellow. I then traveled thousands of blocks on the hunt for sea pickles so I can make lime dye, and cactus so I can make green dye. Finally, at long last, a coral reef. All right, let's use some of this bone meal that I got so I can duplicate them. All right, got quite a few here, so we're not going to be short on it. And would you look at that? Some beautiful cacti. Now that's what I call 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, we're back home, and now we can make some lime dye, green dye, cyan dye, light blue, blue dye, purple dye, magenta dye, and finally some pink dye. All right, and now let's get the rest of the materials. All right, there we go. That's everything in this shulker chest. So let's go build this thing. Alright, the farm has been built, and it's definitely one of the stranger looking ones, that's for sure. But once I flick this level right here, it should be on. Yep, there we go, it's working. And now every time that a sheep grows wool, the observers send a signal to the dispensers, which then shear the wool off of the sheep using the shears inside of them. The wool blocks then pop out at the top of the farm, where the water then funnels them into the chests. And that's pretty much how it works. Now I can make as many carpets as I'd like. That was a joke. Next up, we have probably one of the most OP farms in the entire game, and that's of course the raid farm. So I got all of the materials needed off camera, and now we just need to fly all the way back to the pillager outpost since we're going to be building it right next to it. There's also quite a few villagers around there too, which is great since I'll need 4 or 5 villagers for the farm to function. Alright, so now I need to make sure that I'm at least 6 chunks away from any land, so around here looks pretty good. So let's place this lily pad down and let's get to building. Now the reason this farm is so OP is because it pretty much gets you unlimited emeralds, totems, redstone, and gunpowder, and along with a few other junk items too. So this farm pretty much makes me insanely rich, unkillable, and pretty much just an overall chat of a human. Alright, the actual building side of the farm is pretty much finished now. I just need to do a few more things before it's complete. But before we can do that, first I need to get some villagers up into their pods first. And I noticed whilst I was building that there's a village just across the farm, and it seems to me that it's the closest one. So I'll be kidnapping, I mean borrowing villagers from that one. Alright guys, who's gonna be my first volunteer? You seem like you'd look like you'd want to be trapped in a cage forever, my friend. So get in my boat. Alright, now I need to carve out a path in the sand here. And now we just need to drive this boat to shore, and then from there things should be pretty easy. All right, say bye to your wife, pal, because it is purgatory from here on out. I am a really evil person, aren't I? Anyways, thankfully this build includes a water elevator, so all I have to do is park my boat here, get the villager out nice and safely, give him a little push, and he should now be going all the way up to the top. Yep, there he is. Okay, and now I just need to get him into one of these holes. Oh, looks like he's already going in one. And now I just need to break the glass, and boom, hopefully he doesn't fall to his death. Okay, nice. He fell perfectly into his pod. Now I just need to do that 4 more times. Oh boy. Alrighty, all of the villagers are comfortably in their pods. Well, I don't know if they're comfortably, but I mean, you'd have to ask them. Anyways, let's stop the waffling and let's finish this farm because we have still quite a lot to do. And we're finally done. I know I said I only had a bit to do in the last clip, but that was far from the truth. But it's all worth it because the farm is now complete and we basically have the best farm in the entire game. So first, let's get Bad Omen from a pillager captain. There we go. And now that we have the effect, we just have to walk in here, start hitting this thing, and then the raid bar should start filling up pretty soon. All right, here we go. Let's do a quick AFK test now and see how many emeralds we can get. And after only AFKing for a very short while, this is the loot that I got. Oh my god, look all of the loot. It's beautiful. I wasn't even AFK for that long, but there is a very slight problem. All of these chests are so messy and I don't like that. So let's quickly fix that. All right, I've now built a new sorting system with a ton more chests, as you can see. So let's start this farm up again, and hopefully the items are going to be sorted much more neatly this time. I then AFK'd for another 20 minutes, and these were the results. Okay, here we go. First up, emeralds. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the second one. Oh yeah, it just keeps on going. It just keeps on going. And now the redstone chest. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. I'm never gonna have to mine for redstone ever again. And of course, the gunpowder. Oh, and this chest even has some more emeralds. Very nice. Next up, I'm gonna be building a wither rose farm. Now, this farm is definitely the easiest and most simplistic farm to build in the entire video. But for it to function, I need to get a wither boss. And each time I want to summon one, I'm gonna need 3 wither skulls. So, yeah, I just built a wither skeleton farm. I know for you guys it just cut to me being here, but this farm actually took forever to make since I had to do a lot of resource gathering, a ton of traveling on the nether roof, and then of course actually building it. But now that we're here, if we just wait a couple of minutes, the wither skeletons are going to start flooding in any second now, and then all I have to do is just hit them with my looting 3 sword, and then we're pretty much just going to be rolling in wither skeleton skulls. All right, here they are, the big boys. Let's whack them a few times, and hopefully let's see if we can get a skull straight away. Just some bones and coal. Damn it. And on that note, I decided to AFK for a short while and see how many skulls I could get. Alrighty, about 10 minutes have passed now. I set up a little chest system with some hoppers here, so let's open it and see how many wither skulls we got. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even shocked or surprised. This thing is amazing. So now that we have plenty of wither skulls, let's head over to the end and go make that wither rose farm, shall we? Alright, here we are. Let's build this thing real quick. There we go. Like I said, a pretty easy and simple farm to build. And it actually might even be easier to use because all I have to do now is put a 3rd wither skull here, flick this lever, and now I just need to spam snow blocks to make snow golems. The snow golems then fall down this hole and get killed by the wither, which then makes them drop wither roses that I can easily collect. Alright, you guys already know what time it is. It's AFK time. Alright, after grinding the farm for quite a while, these are all of the wither roses that I got, which is quite insane. I don't think I'm ever going to need to use the farm again. And the great thing about this farm now is that it's also a hybrid nether star farm. So if I just hop down here and stand behind these slabs, I can safely kill the wither without it attacking me. This thing is pretty much what a Swiss knife would be if it was a farm. Get it? Because it has lots of uses. No? Okay, I'm sorry. Why do I even try? So I'm going to keep killing these wither bosses until I run out of skulls, and then we can move on to the next farm, which means that next up we're going to be building a gold farm. And if you couldn't tell, this thing requires a ton of magma blocks. So yep, I did it again. This thing right here is a magma cream farm. So if you were wondering earlier why I even needed the wither roses to begin with, it was for this farm since it's required to kill all of the magma cubes. So in a nutshell, how this thing works, the magma cubes spawn on the stone platforms, the iron golem then acts as bait, and the magma cubes pathfind toward him. They then fall down and die in the wither rose pit, where their drops are picked up and collected by a minecart with hopper system. And that's pretty much it. So I went and AFK'd at the farm for 5.5 hours. Yep, that's right, 5.5. It was a very long time. All right, that was a long AFK sesh. Let's see how much magma cream I got. Ooh, yes, that is a crap ton of magma cream. But unfortunately, despite all of that, I was still 19 stacks of magma short. So I went back to AFKing. Okay, it's been about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's see if I have enough magma blocks now. Okay, that's 3 shulker boxes full now, plus 9 more stacks. There we go. We got exactly the amount we need. And on that note, I think it's time to build the final farm. So for one final time, roll that time lapse. And we're finally finished. I can't even begin to express to you guys how painful building this farm was. From constantly being attacked by ghasts to slowly having to push zombie pigmen. Come on, mate. Hurry up. So having to place down all of those magma blocks manually, it was truly a one of a kind of experience that I definitely never want to go through again. So let's have one final AFK session of the video and let's see how much gold we can get. Alright, I've been AFK for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and look how much XP I got. But that is not the main reason I built this thing. The main reason, of course, is because all of the gold. So, let's see how much I got. And after converting all of the nuggets, this is how much I got. I think there's only one thing that I should do with it.